that whole wheat bread is never as good as white bread, today's video is going to completely change your minds. Hi everyone, my name is Tessa from HandleTheHeat.com, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite recipe for whole grain oat rolls. These rolls are the perfect accompaniment to pretty much any dinner, and they are super simple to make. They're filled with nutritious whole grain flour and oats, and they look absolutely gourmet and beautiful. I'm going to be sharing with you all the tips and tricks for making whole wheat bread that's actually light, fluffy, and flavorful, and how to make these rolls ahead of time. So it's perfect for any special supper or a holiday like Thanksgiving or Easter. So if you'd like to learn how to make these scrumptious whole grain oat rolls, then just keep watching. So we're getting started with the liquid mixture. In a small saucepan, I'm adding 3/4 cup of water and 1/2 cup of whole milk, and the milk is actually going to help tenderize these rolls. If you see a bread recipe and it only has water, that means it's probably going to be more crusty. If it has milk, it's probably going to be a little bit more soft. I added in also 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter and just melted that all down. And then I let it cool to about 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of honey, which is going to give these rolls a nice, really floral sweetness that will really complement the nuttiness of the whole grains. I also added in 3 teaspoons, of instant yeast. You can also add active dry yeast. Just make sure to let it proof for 5 minutes before you add anything else. In the bowl of my stand mixer, you can also use your hands if you don't have a stand mixer and do it all by hand. I just added in 1 cup of oat flour, which I made by grinding up 1 cup of oats in my little baby food processor. You can also buy oat flour packaged. I've also added in 1 cup of white whole wheat flour and 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, I just added in the liquid mixture that we just made and 1 teaspoon of fine salt. And I like to add the salt at the very end because salt kind of slows down the yeast from rising and doing its thing. And we want to make sure that these rolls rise as quickly as possible. So I'm going to give this a whirl in the stand mixer with my dough hook until it is nice and cohesive, and this is a slightly sticky dough. The thing with that is doughs that are more moist and sticky usually mean that the resulting bread is nice and light and fluffy, and it's not too dense or tough. We really want to avoid adding any unnecessary extra flour to the dough, otherwise you will get a tougher, denser bread. If you live in a very humid climate, you may need to add a few tablespoons or 1/4 cup of extra flour. So I've just let the dough rise until it's doubled in size. It took about 45 minutes, but it is pretty warm where I live, so it can take all the way up to 1.5 hours. And I'm going to cut the dough into 9 pieces. And I don't worry about the pieces being perfectly equal, especially right now, because I can kind of pinch and give one of the big pieces of dough a chunk to a smaller piece and try to make them as even as possible, but it never has to be perfect. So to shape the dough into balls, I am just basically going to pinch parts of the dough and then wrap it around towards the bottom. And I want to make sure I get a really nice tight ball so the dough holds its shape and it rises beautifully. And after I've kind of pinched the dough all the way around and it has a nice shape, I'm just going to finish it off by rolling it on my counter here. And then we will have a beautiful, perfect ball of dough. Once all the pieces of dough are rolled into balls, I'm going to pop them in an 8 by 8 inch baking dish, cover and let rise until puffy, about 30 minutes, again, depending on the temperature of your kitchen. Once they're risen, the last step before we put them in the oven is to brush them with an egg wash. And an egg wash is just a combination of an egg and a little bit of water, and this is going to really help give the rolls a nice golden brown exterior. And the last special step to making beautiful rolls is I'm actually going to sprinkle these with some oats. Since they contain oat flour, it's perfect to sprinkle them with some oats. It makes them look rustic and beautiful and gourmet, and I just love this little extra step. Once they're all sprinkled, they're going into a 400-degree oven for about 18 to 20 minutes or until golden brown. And the nice thing with these rolls is that you can actually freeze the fully baked rolls, let them kind of come down to room temperature, or reheat them in a warm oven, and they're absolutely delicious. I have more make-ahead instructions on the blog post linked below. I also have this incredible recipe for pumpkin butter linked below as well. It's absolutely to die for, and it takes these rolls to a whole new level. Alright guys, so that is exactly how you make these whole grain oat rolls. They're beautiful, and as you can see, I couldn't resist. I had to sample one for myself. It was absolutely light, fluffy, and delicious, and of course, I loved it because I enjoyed mine with my favorites, honey cinnamon pumpkin butter. Perfect for fall. If you'd like that recipe, it's in the description box below. Also, if you'd like the full printable version of this whole grain oat roll recipe, that is also in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, it would mean so much to me if you'd share it with your friends and family, and I'll catch you around next time. Thanks so much for watching.